Oh, you are looking good today. Thanks for stopping by. I'm John Merriman, and this is your Tuesday morning guitar song. For most of my life, I've been a semi-pro musician. A semi-pro musician is usually someone who doesn't make enough at music and has to have a day job. My fellow semi-pros are working all over the place in different jobs, but usually not a career position because our heart's in music and we just need a job to get by so we can get to band practice on Thursday night and get to the gig on Saturday night. Music has our soul, but the time clock has our days. To my fellow semi-pros working out there in warehouses, on construction sites, in the local grocery store, take heart and find comfort in the fact that you now have a patron saint. And as of March 2017, a patron saint in the flesh. His name is Saint Willie Nelson. Now, honestly, I've kind of volunteered Willie for this patron saint job. But I don't think he'll mind. In fact, I think he'll be kind of excited about his new level in the cosmos. You see, Willie never found the lasting success in his career until he was way into his 40s. In his early years, he traveled, he worked day jobs, he played in honky-tonks, he played in bands, he had record contracts, but it never really came together for him. He was always on the outside looking in. And then finally, when Willie was 37 years old, he said, "I've had enough of this. I'm quitting music, I'm going home, and I'm starting a new life." Well, fat chance on that, huh? I'm sure my semi-pros would agree. You just don't give up music that easy. Now, I've got this fun thing. Willie was doing a lot of traveling. He was really trying. So, I've got this list of all the places Willie lived where he was trying to get into music and all the day jobs he did, okay? He was born in 1933 in Abbott, Texas. He lived in Pleasanton, Texas, Denton, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, San Diego, California, Portland, Oregon, Springfield, Missouri, Waco, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas again, Houston, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, Ridgetop, Tennessee, and Bandera, Texas. Now, these are all the day jobs Willie did in chronological order. He started out as a cotton picker, then a phone operator, then a tree trimmer, then a pawn shop employee. He was in the Air Force for 9 months. He was a student of agriculture at Baylor University. He was a nightclub bouncer. He was a partsman in an auto parts store. He was a saddle maker. He was a tree trimmer again. He became a disc jockey. He was a Sunday school teacher. He was a disc jockey again. He was a dishwasher. He was a door-to-door Bible salesman. He was a door-to-door vacuum cleaner salesman. He was a sales manager for Encyclopedia Americana. He was a disc jockey again, and he was a guitar instructor. Well, as many of you know, in those early years, Willie was a struggling songwriter most of all, and he wrote some of the greatest country songs ever written. But he had to sell them cheap. He needed the money. And the royalties usually went to fund unsuccessful tours and his other musical adventures trying to get into the music business. He had record contracts. He had a bunch of kind of unsuccessful albums he did. He had a little string of mid-chart singles. But pretty much Willie was not getting along with the Nashville country and western establishment. He just wasn't fitting in. And then finally, in 1970, his farm burned down in Benton, Texas. He went through a divorce. He was having trouble with his record company again. And he said, "I've had enough. I quit. I'm quitting music and I'm going back to Texas to find a new life." Well, Willie moved to Austin, Texas. And there he could be himself, he could relax, he could be with friends, he could get his head together. And he started doing some festivals with friends, and Austin kind of lured him back into music. He even started a little party of his own every year called Willie's 4th of July Picnic. Maybe you've heard of it. Well, you know, Willie, he finally came to the conclusion that he had to have faith in himself. And he had to have faith in the way that he heard music and the way he wanted to present it. He knew he was not a great guitarist, and he knew he was not a great singer. But Willie knew what great music was. He knew that great music was simply the rock-bottom, honest expression from someone of how they feel. And if you're true to your instincts, people will respond. And oh my goodness, they did. Willie went on to form a whole subgenre of country music called outlaw country. He acted in over 30 films, he's written many books, and he has sold millions upon millions of records. All because he gave it up, he went back home, and he became himself. And now, he's become a saint. I just made him a saint. And actually, he will be the first saint that will be the topic of your Tuesday morning fun fact. Here's your Tuesday morning fun fact. Willie's new life and new career really exploded in 1975 when he released the blockbuster album Red-Headed Stranger. Then, in 1976, he did it again, another blockbuster album with Wanted, the Outlaws. Then in 1977, Willie wanted to release an album of 10 non-country old pop standards. He was going to call the album Stardust, after one of the songs on the album. The executives at Columbia Records absolutely freaked out. They thought this was 100% career suicide for Willie. He had just established himself as a whole subgenre of music in this outlaw country, and now he was going to release 10 sappy old pop songs? They begged, they cajoled, they pleaded, they threatened Willie to not release this album. But Willie had been to the rodeo a few times, and in his contract he negotiated the clause that he had total artistic control. So he released the album. Today, Stardust is quintuple platinum. That's platinum 5 times over. It was inducted into the Grammy Album Hall of Fame. And on the Billboard Hot Country Album charts, it stayed for a consecutive 10 years. That's just Willie being himself. And that's your Tuesday morning fun fact. Let's play a little guitar now. This is my favorite song that Willie wrote. He did not sing it into fame. It was a Patsy Cline song, but Willie wrote it. So please stay with me. I'll be right back. Thank you so much for stopping by. It is so good to see you. Remember, share the show on your social media. We are a total word-of-mouth operation. Hit the like button. If you're a semi-pro musician, say your prayers to St. Willie tonight. Hope to see you next week. And remember, you're never ready for your day without a song in your heart. Bye now.